Hey, man.
Yeah. What's going on, great people? Happy day. Wherever you are in the world, I appreciate you so much.
So, I don't know if you remember this. I didn't until I saw a clip on it a little while ago. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's the younger crowd loves him, right? I mean, people love him, but
Everybody
he really
loves
has,
The Rock.
but really has a. So, some years back when Kamala and Biden were going into the president's term, Rock got on a clip and endorsed Biden and Kamala. So now is what it's looking like is he may be potentially running for office on the Democratic side.
Who?
The Rock.
Really?
He may possibly be running. So I saw in this clip Benny Johnson had on The Rock is actually running. And if you look at his post as of today is Thursday, November 16th. It showed him standing outside. He said headed to the Pentagon.
Really?
I told when I saw that, and I said, "Yo, if
I
they
have
run,
not heard of that.
if he runs, that's gonna be heavy because no matter what side he on, people are gonna love and vote for him. Even though they're gonna look over the fact that he endorsed Biden and now he doesn't endorse Biden, that people would vote for Rock just off GP because it's The Rock. So let's play this clip with Benny.
I don't know. I think people are smarter than that.
You don't think they would?
And I'm sorry, Trump supporters are diehard Trump supporters. These folks ain't gonna fall for the okie doke. We have been through way too much.
I'm curious to see because I can see how that being a weapon. They'd be like, okay, President Trump is a big celebrity, and now we can get the left side because he represents us on the left, not us, me
So
per se.
what about Michelle? Is she still like a secret weapon?
She wouldn't have a chance if Dwayne Rock Johnson ran.
So
Nope.
Got a visit from the parties asking me if I was going to run and if I could run. If that's ultimately what the people would want, then of course I would consider.
Shut up! What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. What's the first rule of politics? Step away from the grenade. If there is something that is toxic, thermonuclear, or radioactive, you get away from it. A topic or a politician that particularly is out of touch with the American people, you go, whoa, none of that. Not for me. Especially if you want to run for office or if you have higher aspirations. The Rock is going to run for president, okay? I am now predicting this 100%.
I agree.
And The Rock was on Joe Rogan's show yesterday, distancing himself from the most radioactive thing in the country, Joe Biden. Check this out.
When I was a kid, you could have a Republican friend. Like, it was no big deal.
Yes.
It's no big deal. Like, oh, Bobby likes George Bush. Who
course.
cares? Who gives
Right.
a f***? You know, you were a supporter of Bill Clinton. He liked George Bush. Nobody cared. Nobody, like, f*** you. You know, it wasn't like you're a Nazi. Like, I'm a Nazi. I just want lower taxes.
That's
What
what the fuck are you talking
saying?
about?
How did I become a Nazi?
Dude,
You know?
it's the craziest thing. I have friends who support Trump. I have friends who support Biden. I have friends.
Do you really have friends who support Biden?
I do.
Right.
Well, no. Here's what I do. I have friends.
Hold on.
Thank you. That's a
Hold
good
on.
check because that's important. This is important context.
They support the Democratic Party.
I have friends who are loyal to the party.
Yes.
Oh, okay, got it.
Clear
Right.
that up.
Cleared that.
So what
Clear
is
that
this
up.
all about?
Listen.
Well, okay.
He cleared that up so quick to let y'all
Yes,
know.
he did.
Because especially with the UFC alone, ain't nobody in there. The vast majority in the center in the UFC arena is not going for Joe Biden. So he was like, wait a minute. No, not really. They support the Democratic Party, but they don't support Biden. And it's so funny that how years ago he was right on that clip saying, Joe, I know you've been in office a long time. You know what you do it. I endorse it. And even as he was saying the speech, he didn't sound like he was excited to do it, but he did it. So
Okay, this is classic. This is how you know that The Rock is running for higher office, right? And he's going to run for president. I'm going to lay out exactly why. He's distancing himself from Biden, okay? Biden's approval rating among young adults, which The Rock would, of course, want to win, is 36%. Disapproval rating is nearly 60%. According to Quinnipiac, far left-wing pollster. Okay, so these numbers are probably 10% higher, probably 70% disapproval for young people. Okay, on the Biden disapproval. Jump over here. National General Election Poll. Donald Trump destroys Joe Biden in head-to-head. Donald Trump obliterates Joe Biden if you add on the other people that are going to run, like Kennedy and West and Stein.
look at that.
Donald Trump absolutely smokes Joe Biden. If you put him up against like Green Party members and other people like Joe Manchin, who has all but announced he's going to run for president now. Joe Manchin, senator of West Virginia. So this is The Rock hedging his bets, okay? It's called handicapping. I do it for a living. I'm from a very political state, very political family. I do this for a living. Okay? The Rock is gonna run. Look at this. The Rock says he was asked to run for president by several political parties. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm not a Democrat. Not me. Just several political parties asked me to run for president.
I'll share this a little bit with you. At the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, rather, in 2022, I got a visit from the parties.
The parties.
Asking me if I was going to run and if I could run.
Wow.
Crazy.
And it was a big deal. And it came out of the blue.
Wow.
And it was one after the other. And
One after the other.
They
Oh,
brought up
interesting.
that poll. They also brought up their own deep dive research and data that would prove, should I ever decide to go down that road,
You
that
would be a real contender.
yeah, and it was all very surreal because that's never been my goal. My goal has never been to be in politics.
Is your goal never to be in politics? Check this out. From Deadline Hollywood, right? Very important publication in Hollywood, okay? Dwayne Johnson says he was asked to run for president by several political, presumably by both political parties. You'd have to assume, right? Then what's the related story here? From yesterday, from 2 p.m. yesterday, The Rock visits Capitol Hill? Are you running for president? Johnson asked by reporters on Capitol Hill. So The Rock went to go meet with Chuck Schumer yesterday to ask if he's running for president.
See?
Well, what do you know? Would
What
you
does
look
he
at
know
this?
about
The Rock
politics
sitting
and
here,
how to run a country?
schlepping up with Democrat activists and Democrat leaders on the Hill. Look at that. Oh, my God.
That's the left.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Here you go. Sitting down with Democrat senators.
I feel you.
Right? We're talking with Capitol Police. Oh, really? This is really...
That's how they be grueling over everything. Bruh, I'm telling you.
I love it.
He would be their secret weapon. And that would be so tough because people are, I'm telling you, no matter what standpoint that he took in the past, in the left, it would be, I'm telling you, he would get a lot of the youth.
He may get a lot of votes, but I still don't think it's going to be enough to beat Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because
Donald Trump
we
gotta-
like Rock as a celebrity movie guy, but when it comes to political stances and having a leg to stand on, come on.
That's tough.
How did he? Well, he tried to do the right thing with the fires, so I'm not going to go down that soapbox.
People got, that's what people were saying in the comment when I saw it on Twitter. They were like, you want to run for president, but then you couldn't even get the fire stuff situated.
So I said I'm not going to get on that, bandwagon. But I feel like my thing is stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Just because you're liked by the masses and the people does not qualify you to run a whole country
Yep.
or be a puppet of those that know. Because he knows nothing.
Yep.
Never seen him on a political never his name ain't been nowhere in sight.
No.
Don't do that.
But you see how they would do. They would say since we got celebrities and we got young people out there fighting that, like your Viveks and stuff like that. Let's just wash away all these old timers in there and let's get somebody that the world looks at. A man who got 200,000 follows on Instagram and stuff like this. And
to be able to pull that off, I feel
200
like
million.
it would need to be Trump and Vivek, because Vivek has a lot of the young people as well, and he knows his stuff. What is the Rock? The Rock don't know nothing.
I don't think he could topple them in the political, even with the political study and research.
And now more people are awake.
Yeah.
Even
Right.
some of the young people. We did several videos on this.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, absolutely not.
Right.
So if they're not going to vote for Biden, they definitely not going to vote for The Rock, because they know The Rock don't know nothing. Where has he been? He ain't even been a pin dot on the
I don't
map
know.
when it comes
people,
to politics.
People always looking for something fresh, so I don't know.
Well, it ain't
really something
him.
that you do. I'm from Iowa. When national figures don't want to go to Iowa, all right? I want to go to Iowa. I like Iowa a lot. I love Iowa. From Cedar Rapids, Iowa. National
Iowa's-
politicians and famous and rich people
pretty.
don't travel to Cedar Rapids, Iowa to hang out in coffee shops for fun. That is not what they do. They don't leave Turks and Caicos and their private islands next to Jeffrey Epstein's to come to Cedar Rapids, Iowa to go hang out in our coffee shops and our grocery stores. They run for president. When you see The Rock up on Capitol Hill posing with photos of Capitol Police, that's how you know he's running for president.
Yep.
Okay? When he says multiple parties asked me to run for president, when he won't say that it was the Democrat Party, That's how you know he's running for president. Here's The Rock taking selfies with a cop yesterday.
You know, it wasn't the GOP.
Now, The Rock has been strangely silent about the Hamas erection that happened at the DNC yesterday. He's taking photos with cops, says he supports cops, yet cops were being beat yesterday by far-left protesters. What did The Rock have to say about that? Nada. Nothing. Zero. The Rock, of course, with his shirt half buttoned down to his navel, shaking hands with Chuck Schumer. No word yet how bruised Chuck Schumer's hand was after this handshake. But nonetheless, the other evidence keeps pouring in that The Rock is going to run for president. He is apologizing for things he gets wrong. That's another way you know you're running for president. He's cleaning his closet up, right? So The Rock did this, embarrassing, humiliating Maui fund for Maui, where he asked people who are being destroyed by Joe Biden's policies, and he supports Joe Biden. Never, ever forget that. Joe Biden's policies, even though he goes on Joe Rogan saying he doesn't support Joe Biden, you do support Joe Biden. The Rock went and asked people who he harmed by electioneering for Joe Biden to give him money to go rebuild his private island, right, in Maui.
Yeah.
Essentially what it is. Now, he apologized after the backlash. That's how you know he's also running for president, right? The Rock said, I'm so sorry.
The fund, there was some backlash that came with launching the fund, and I want to address and acknowledge that backlash right now. And here's what I have to say about that. I get it, and I completely understand, and I could have been better, and next time I will be better. And I understand, money ain't falling out of the sky, and it's not growing on trees. And there's a lot of people out there who's living paycheck to paycheck, and I get it, and I know what that's like. I've lived paycheck to paycheck. $7, I know.
Doesn't that sound like a campaign speech? You can literally
does.
already
Yeah, it
hear
does.
that is the campaign
It
speech.
does.
Already hear it. It sounds like a campaign speech. Okay? So never ever forget, ladies and gentlemen, that everything you hate about right now, current modern day America, The Rock gave you. The Rock did this to us. The Rock endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It was his first public presidential endorsement. He never endorsed anyone before. He put on this absurd skin tight shirt and went and wandered around one of his mansions and said, "You got to vote for Joe Biden."
Sunday, everybody. We are approximately
Dang.
5 weeks away from Election Day, arguably the most critical election our country has seen in decades. Now, that said, I'm going to be pushing this political conversation just a little bit more. Now, look, I've got friends in all parties, but the one thing that we can always agree on is the conversation and the dialogue, and where that conversation lands is always the most critical part. Now, this is something that I've certainly not done in the past, so I'm going to go big.
Okay,
You guys
let's
know
go
me.
big
If I
then.
go, I go big. So, guys, I had the opportunity to sit down with Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris to talk about a
Did you
number of
try and sit down
important
with
issues
Trump?
that we're facing as a
Right.
country.
Of course not.
I thought it was a great and extremely
Did you bring up illegal immigration? Did you bring up inflation? Did you bring up fentanyl slaughtering hundreds of thousands of Americans? Did you bring up all the foreign wars that Joe Biden's gotten us into? Did you bring up any of those? Dwayne?
productive conversation that we had. And as a registered independent for years now with centrist ideologies,
Centrist
I do feel
ideologies.
that Vice President Biden and Senator Harris are the best choice to lead our country, and I am endorsing them to become president and vice president of our United States.
You will never forget this, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, right.
You absolute fraud. We'll never forget this whole happy talk like, I'm a man of all the people. No. I mean, who knows? It may well work. May well work. We appreciate Joe Rogan, though, pushing him on it, being like, do you actually support Joe Biden? Nobody supports Joe Biden. And The Rock running away from Joe Biden like he was an irradiated element inside of a nuclear weapon shows you exactly what The Rock's thought process is here. He's running for president.
Yeah,
period.
I can see it.
Not the first time in Joe Rogan's show, by the way, that Joe Biden has been absolutely flamed to his face. We appreciate Joe Rogan for this.
That's right.
Tim Dillon, take it away.
Is that recent?
Yeah, they had a meeting over the holidays where they we're assessing
July 4th holidays?
No, this was during the holidays. And they were the Biden family had this meeting. Jamie could look it up. Where they were
during December.
Yeah, where they were we're going to see if he's going to run again. And Jill and Hunter and the rest of the crew met, and they decided it's a great idea for him to run again. And I'm like, it's crazy sending a guy that old into battle again. And I don't, so.
There was some article, Jamie, about the accusations of how much money they received. Some new one came out today. They were trying to figure out how much money the Biden family received during this whole Hunter Biden scandal thing.
Right. It was a big scandal. People are going like, well, his son's an addict and he stood by his son. Number one, don't stand by it. Like if a laptop came out where I had done what Hunter Biden did, my family would tell people I was dead. Like, and they're not even the president. My dad sells wine and he wouldn't admit, like, there is a time you cannot support your kids, by the way. What are we talking about? People are like, well, he's a good father. It's like, is he? Was he?
Do you think it was his coke at the White House?
Whose coke is it outside? It's definitely his coke. But I don't like narcs and rats, so I think he should be able to have a little, he can have a blast.
Yeah, what's the big deal? You're at your dad's house.
If your father's a president, you can't have a blast? You can't bump?
I can't take a bump. A bump.
Own up to it.
Oh, bump.
Own up to it. Well, even if he does, I don't think he's going to.
You don't think he would get it?
I don't think he would. But they had to pull somebody.
So it's not Kamala. It's going to be The Rock.
They knew it wasn't Joe.
Because the Democrats out there have nobody. So if they get The Rock, I can see that. I can really see that happening.
So
and they
apparently-
brief him with all the political information that he needs while he's trying to run versus what he knows now. They're going to give you all that information.
Of course. The same people that's running it now while Joe is in office is going to be the same folks that's going to be running it while he is in office.
Correct.
No, thank you.
That's Buck, man. That's completely threw me for a whole
Wow.
loop. That threw me for a whole loop just to think about him.
So who would be
trying to
his
run.
VP? Michelle?
It'd be a woman. It'd be a woman. I could really see that happening. It's not saying that would be something I'm going to pick because I already know I'm going for. But I could
all
see
the
the
more
world
reason.
going to pick because you got to think Trump got 100 million people that support him, but The Rock has 200 million, and it's some of Trump's 100 million, or some of Rock's 200 million. So,
But it's going to be the people. I still feel like people who vote for Trump are not stupid. That's why he's got his numbers have continuously gone up. They, even though they may support The Rock, when it comes to politics, they ain't gonna support The Rock.
no.
I'm gonna support you at the box office.
Yeah.
What you do, where your expertise is, acting, wrestling, that's your lane.
But the whole fire thing was the wrong time for him. I guess he thought he was, and even in his possible political stance, that fire thing would hurt him because people are like, why you ain't help him out? Like, what you do with the money you got? You know, so I think that hurt him, even with a chance of trying to run.
Well, I just feel like people have awakened.
Yeah.
People are truly paying attention, and they see what has been going on, and they know that The Rock don't know a lick about politics.
But you know what? They'll go and try to say that about Trump on his first term too. They were saying the same thing about Trump in his first term.
This isn't his first. This won't be his first term. I'm talking about Trump today.
Yeah, no, but
he's already got a track record.
I'm saying the grace that they would try to give him is like, look at Trump. Then he didn't have much information in the beginning.
We gonna see.
So that's the tough one, y'all. Of course we're going for Trump on here, but
I just don't think it's gonna make
a massive
difference.
amount of people will go for The Rock. I'm telling you.
Just because. I'm not saying that they won't, but I still feel like Trump's numbers are going to be better because don't nobody know what The Rock gonna do.
I don't know.
They don't. Please, he gonna stay over there on the left and keep us in the situation that we already in, if not worse. Absolutely not.
I don't know, but we're gonna end it on that, baby. Go ahead and lead them to
All
the
right,
water.
great people. You know what it is. We appreciate your support. If you like this video, smash the like button. Let's get this up to how many likes?
Let's get this over to 3,000 likes.
All right, guys. See you in the next video.
Bye.
Yeah.